Yay!
Our first game was juicy between NiP and NaVi, of course, our hot match of the week. Stop where you're going, say the kiss. Nice, good catch. That was good. Okay.
Now I'm doing it for real.
Yeah, okay, he's a... Yeah, there he goes.
Why is he so rebellious?
He just wants to be on camera all the
He's
time,
just a
you know
bad
what I
man.
mean?
Yeah, nearly walked in front of our camera and then proceeded to do so. Anyway, I'm Alex Machine Richardson. You got myself, Chad Birchall, and Lauren Scott hanging out. So, gents and ladies, good catch, Alex.
Nailed it.
It's going to be Dust2 between these two, and I think you made a fantastic statement. As soon as we did throw to break, you just looked at me and said, we're going from a map with a lot of structure to a map which is often famed for having the least structure. How much of an impact do you think that's going to make? A 16-8 convincing win for NaVi. I can't help but feel a lot of people would just be kind of glancing over the NiP roster at this point in time against a team like NaVi on such a big run.
I think you can't count NiP out. It's
You
NiP
can't?
magic. You know, people say I don't want to be part of that. You know,
Yeah, be part of it.
But let's
Start
be
dropping the
honest,
hashtag.
right? So this is what I was saying just in the break. That obviously there's a lot more structure on Overpass, and now we're going to Dust2, where if you try and do structure, you can get picked a lot easier. There's a lot more aggressive plays you can do as CT to try and find kills and ruin the structure, and the structure only gets you to a certain point. The executes you can do on Dust2 are not as effective on the executes you can do on Overpass. So the theory that they had done, and obviously the dry runs they had done on Overpass is great, because they go, all right, we go through the motions, we get to this point, we execute, and now everything happens. On Dust2, stuff has to happen before. If it doesn't, a 5-man execute, say up short or whatever, it's a 50-50. It's not always going to work. Even if you throw the best and perfect flashes and smokes, there's so many more places that the CTs can kill you from.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we'll probably see it in action, because NiP has that really kind of well-renowned now A-hit that everyone looks at, or looked at during, I guess it was during one of the majors. They went on a big run of being able to do it pretty well. You know, the mollies towards the box, forcing players out of that ramp position, making them uncomfortable, but it's not impossible to still get frags, as we've seen, you know, whether you're playing car, whether you're not, you know, losing out early on to players, you know, it's still very possible to happen. So again, I don't see this going brilliantly for NiP, but there's more room for them to actually, you know, create something to happen, and more of that chaos could be created that they could probably do well in. But NiP, well, NaVi are no slouches on here either, though. This was one of their big maps not too long ago, you know, a little further back. And no, I'm curious to see how this goes down. Forrest, for me, has to be a bit of a linchpin in this.
Yeah, of course, a reminder that he really did not show up over on that first map, 5 frags in the 20... What did I do? I did the maths before. 24 rounds?
24, I believe you said.
24 rounds of play.
I thought you just kind of backed out of the math.
No, I did. I eventually
did.
I did.
Oh, okay.
I processed it. For anyone that's unaware, by the way, doing maths on air is the scariest thing I think I've ever tried to do.
Don't do it. You don't have to do it.
I slip into it. I make that mistake. I'm like, well, the score was 16-8, so we saw... And then I go, to carry the 24 rounds of play. That's the kind of mumbling that I have to go through. You actually have a button I can hold to do that mental maths.
Oh,
It's great that... Oh, no, I was going to say it's great that people can see you're a real person and not a machine.
No, I'm not a machine. Are you happy with your gamer name, Chad?
No, that's why I'm getting you to refer to me as Chad.
Yeah, he is.
I'm ashamed.
You're ashamed of Sponge?
How did you get Sponge? Is it a story that can be told?
Yes.
Or do you just change every time you get asked?
I know I'm really pasty white right now, but I used to go to the beach as a kid.
Right.
And it was bodyboarding that I did, and there was a bodyboarding website called Sponge Bodyboarding. At the same time, I go to a LAN center after the beach.
Right.
Connect the dots.
Okay.
Yeah,
Was it spelt the way yours is spelt?
Yeah, that's why.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay.
Oh, so you're actually like a walking advertisement.
For a website that no longer exists anymore.
Alex, do you need to plug the Score Esports, or are you all right?
I think I'm okay.
Are we talking
Okay.
about the game again? You guys never talk about Counter-Strike, and that's what I'm here for. I
Okay.
fly all the way from Australia to talk
to me.
about
Break it down, Chad.
Natas Vincia
Yeah.
versus NiP
Right.
on Dust2.
Okay, so if you were to talk to me about Natas Vincia versus NiP on Dust2, you've got plenty of time to do so because we are resolving a GoTV issue currently.
Nice. This is
So
this is
you
a
can get-
breakdown.
All right, yesterday.
I want to see the depth.
Yesterday, we saw NiP versus Australis on Dust2.
Yes, we did.
It was a close match in the end, but I think NiP looked stronger overall. They took the map 16-14, I believe it was. And I liked a lot of the stuff they were doing. They had a really good A defense. Makaleli with the AWP looking really good. They had some. The teamwork is really good. They have great flashes for each other. And a point that I want to look at is Freiburg. People are saying at the moment that he's in better form, but it needs to continue for a while. He needs to be able to stay. He doesn't need to be a star. He just needs to be in the middle of the pack. He can't be down in the bottom, you know, every game. He has to be contributing entry frags and multi-frags. He needs to be a rock on their CT side. He needs to be able to sit there and be... Yeah, a rock. He just sits there and frags a couple of people. And that's what I was saying about Flamey earlier as well. He is a rock, and he's the rock for NaVi, and he needs to do the same thing.
Now, it's interesting that you mentioned that Freiburg, you know, did get a lot of criticism. Everyone would suggest that he was, we talked about it earlier, was to be the one to be chopped. It does seem like a lot of rosters have that one man that is poorly received by the community or analysis. You know, like it does.
I don't know what you're talking about.
But why is it all like it does? Like it does seem to happen, doesn't it? I'm not making any statements
I think
here. I was just suggesting like
externalized don't understand internal workings.
Yeah.
For one, I think there's outliers that you can apply it to, that you can go logically, that doesn't look like they fulfill their role within that. But then again, you know, you don't know in the internal workings, right? The Smiths issue, right? Technically, he's not pulling his weight to the degree that you can watch and go, he's up there with the Shocks to Scream, but does he fulfill other things within that team? Would Shocks be around if Smiths wasn't there? Do they want to stay as that kind of pairing? Does he, you know, aid a lot in the in-game leading, which you said? A lot of the kind of way they structure their rounds, he has a lot of, you know, influence on that. I think it's just the external perspective, and sometimes it's right. Sometimes you can sit there and go, look, he's clearly not doing what he can, but would the roster be as good without him in the other terms?
Well, I mean, that seems to be the question, right? Like
I think Chad would probably be able to answer that a little bit better.
About Smiths or about the player in general
you know,
that sucks?
That player.
I think it's up to that player in general. If they know that they're not performing as well as they should be, they need to be able to fix themselves to be a contributing party to the team. And if they can't, then they need to be honest to the team and say, look, you've got me in this role. I can't do it.
Right.
How can we fix it? If you need someone in this role and I can't do it, well, you need to get someone else. And obviously people don't want to do that. But if you're not good enough, you're not good enough, and that's my story.
I mean, that's the realization that people have to come to on their own accord, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
well,
but let's just to clarify, we're not saying this about necessarily Freiburg.
No,
I think it's interesting that there are players in the highest tier teams in Counter-Strike that get this flack.
Well, look at Virtus.Pro, right? They've said no matter what, quote unquote. I don't know how long that will last for. Let's be honest, it could change to the next event, but they want to stay as the same five. They don't care about it. Taz went through some of the most awful low points in his career. You know, he's had very, very highs and extreme lows. So again, though, what does he bring to that roster that they can't get from others? Do they just want to be that five? Do they feel comfortable in that five, or do they want to really push for the best and, you know, try and aim for that top position without, you know, going through the kind of changing process, as you said? You know, someone doing a lot of self-reflection and going, all right, well, how can we now fulfill the roles we need to? I think it's more that certain teams will go, well, actually, I think the best way you can do it is stay as this five and work through these problems. Because on the other side, we'll have, you know, the people we like to play with, you know, the friendships there, and that is a factor. Because in theory, you know, you may not love everyone in your team, but you spend a lot of time with these guys. So, you know, if you have a five that you like, stick with them and work through it. Or you do the other approach and you go, all right, on the chopping board, off you go, and we'll try and find someone new.
Is there an answer to that, or is it situational? Like, you know, can you get away? Or are we going towards the CS world where it's a job, you're playing for money, and you treat it like such? You know, you have working relationships.
Of course it's a job.
Yeah.
But in the sense of what you're saying, that it needs to be more cutthroat.
Could it be?
I think when you see more coaches coming in and then managers and analysts, and it becomes even more structured, then it has to, because you're looking at numbers. And I know people say that it's not all about numbers, like you're saying, that they contribute in other ways. And that's only the team knows those inner workings. So they can quantify it. But if doubt starts to creep in their mind about a player, and they think at that point, the player themselves or the team with that's when it has to change, because Counter-Strike is hugely mental. And if you're sitting there going, well, he might get a kill, you know, or he's sitting there going, God, I have to play well, or, you know, everyone on the forums is going to call me bad, or the teammates are going to think that I suck. And that's where the mental side really comes in, and it really hurts players. I
mean, there were examples of that working. I remember it was a discussion surrounding Astralis and Zipex, because he was basically given an ultimatum. It was not too long ago, actually.
No,
but they did come up to him and basically say, you're under threat. You know, we're looking for other people, and if you can't show us what you're capable of in the next two months, we will probably look to replace you. And he just exploded. Got hungry.
Yeah, he's dipping off a bit now.
Sure.
And that's the thing, you know, you have to assess it on a year-round basis, I guess. What are we talking? Counter-Strike seasons never seem to end. I know the players had a break for about 2 years. 2 years? 2 years?
I know your break's been going on.
2 weeks. They had a break for 2 weeks. It did
feel like a quick 2 years.
Yeah, no. That 2 week break that they had. But it's not really an off season, 2 weeks. It's not. There were still teams like Heroic were playing through that, and now they're doing awesome. So it's continuous, and you know, teams have to assess it at their own pace. Interesting stuff.
I do think that something that it's always fun to dissect is just how much of a mental game CS is.
It's always mental.
It's like, I don't think the average viewer or, you know, consumer of Counter-Strike can appreciate that. Just how much you know how we sit there and go, I don't understand the inconsistencies. They just won E-League and now they're, you know, 0-6. Of course, talking about the polls or whatever it is. And I do think it's probably a great deal of that comes down to the mindset they have on the day, which just makes it very difficult for us here on the analyst desk.
I always find Virtus.Pro to be such a different team, though. They're so detached to everyone else. I feel their motivation peaks in certain situations, and you see them actually going through the motions of wanting to be that competitive team. Whereas I don't see them as those teams that always reach online. You know what I mean? They're not the team that always pushes themselves online. I genuinely think that. I think that they review in certain ways, and I think they find their strengths in certain areas, and they'll kind of push that forward. I think they're a very unique team in that aspect.
Seems like we resolved our technical issues.
Fantastic.
I love this conversation. Thank you so much, Lauren and Chad. Quickly, though, I want a team name predictions for Dust2. Do we get to see the 2-0 for NaVi? Do they continue to be undefeated, or do NiP pip them at the post? Lauren, team name, just the team name.
NaVi.
NaVi? Chad?
NaVi.
NaVi, okay, so it does look like we're expecting to see them go 8-0 here in the ESL Pro League. It's a dream scenario for the CIS team. Let's see if they can make it happen as we do dive into our second map. There's none other than the handsome gentleman, Henry G, and some guy called Sadakist.
That's my name, baby. Don't worry about it. You can call me something different if you like. But we are ready to go. It's the hot match. It's so hot, I put on sunnies. Is that what they call them in Australia, Chad? Yes. Sunnies.
I don't know what's going on right now, but I like the look. It's new,
Thanks, bro.
It's different, and I'm sure you're getting some respect in the Twitch chat. Some
1Gs.
1Gs in the chat. Anyway, Matthew, Dust2.
I would say 2Gs, but he's not a G, so. Yes, Dust2.
Yes, a map where anything really can happen and will happen. And this is where I want to see that double orb setup for NaVi come in. I want to see what Simple can do on a map where he's given a little bit more freedom, let us unleash a bit more to say, go and see what you can do, see what you can find here, especially on the CT side, going aggressive, of course, with that orb. I'm really, really excited to see how this one goes down. But before that all kicks off, we, of course, have to go through the formality of the pistol round.
Well, we do, and it is seemingly a formality at this point. I know you've talked about it in the past, about potentially abolishing it. We won't get too much into that debate. Wow, it's really bright when you take these off, by the way.
The only thing I'd say is, like, I feel like they have so much impact in CSGO, and they're not really credited for winning. Like, whenever you say, oh, they won both pistols, it's not like, oh, they did such a good job winning both pistols. It's just like, oh, they won both pistols, that's why they won. That's the nice problem with it. But okay, Edward. He goes aggressive from short, finds 2 headshots, and Guardian's going to be backing him up as well. Looking for more, it's Edward with the third, and it's going to be a complete whitewash here, as 4 kills have been obtained for NaVi, and just poor old Exist. He's towards long, no bomb, just with the Glock armor, trying to get a consolation kill here. Looks like he might pick it up, he can't. It's a complete clean sweep there for the CIS team. What can you say about that one, Matthew?
Yeah, I mean, that's an impressive start. I was just going to mention as well, when we do see guns come out, and you said formality, et cetera, when we get the guns out drawn, we talk about Smiths on this map being good with the AWP. I think Guardian's still the best in the West. I won't give him the best in the world, because we saw that flick that Savage made. You know, maybe there's a debate. I'm kidding, obviously. But no, Guardian is the top in the world on this map. There's no question about it. Seized. Forward to Freiburg. Pretty straightforward. The pistol's really not able to do much, accomplish anything really from NiP in this point in time. Bomb's just going to coagulate toward outside of the A doors.
Well then, not an investment fully from NiP. They do get upgraded pistols, one of which is a Deagle, and that's Forrest using it to great effect towards mid. Takes the head off Seized and repays the favor for his fallen comrade Freiburg at the start of the round. And will be a 4-on-4, but still a lot of work here to do for NiP. 2 flashes remain, and they are making their way towards short and long. It looks like an A pincer as they do come towards the site. Maybe a run boost to come in. That seems to be the standard these days, as Edward does get a little bit of attention from long. He gets some damage towards Get Right as well, looking to get that first kill, but needs to be careful. He's down long by himself, and Forrest finds a second headshot, and that's going to the dome of Guardian. Still, though, Edward fighting back. He should be able to pick up the second kill as well, which he does. That's going to be round over, unfortunately, for NiP, but they do get a plant down. All because of this man in the screen right now. It's going to be Forrest looking for more, but he can't find it. Bomb planted. Still quite a successful round, considering they didn't actually invest too much into that one. They could actually get guns going into this round now with that lighter investment. We'll see what they decide to do.
I don't mind that, getting a plant down. Pretty good, all things considered, for NiP. I would even like them to stay completely away from the purchase, the buy menu this time. Just stay away from it. Use that plant to get out full utility, full buy, and potentially an AWP in the next.
I think that's probably the correct call, but you never know these guys. Forrest with 4,400. Here we go. I told you. It's coming.
Oh, man, my aneurysm just kicked back in.
Well, if they win the round, you know, it's going to look spectacular. It's going to be Freiburg and Get Right with Desert Eagles. And Forrest, he's got that AK-47. Scout in the hand of Michael Ailey, and we'll see. Well, this Xbox smoke leads to anything. Get Right decides better of it. Going to be holding up in the default for now. And 2 players towards lower B. Quite a heavy B mentality here from NaVi as well. You can see 3 players in the mini-map towards that side of the map. And that's going to be C's patrolling towards mid. So a full buy here from an NiP. I speculated it could happen. You weren't so sure, but the AK in Forest's hands, he did a great job with the Deagle. Going to go one step further here with the main rifle on the terrorist side.
Well, Exist, you said you prefer the Galil, most do. I don't know why I prefer the FAMAS. I just like it more. Someone asked me that on Twitter. I don't have an answer for you. I just seem to be more confident with it. It's a mental thing. It's Guardian. He's going to be the one to hold this off alone as well in this A site. We're seeing a 3-2 split with 3 over toward B. Not something we commonly talk about on Dust2, and therefore Guardian, not yet on his AWP, is going to have to play this almost perfectly as he watches for the drop, peeks it as well. Double smoke there. He won't be able to see the jump down easily. And they've lost long as he stood there. That allows Freiburg with a Deagle to get a kill. Get Right comes in with one beforehand, and suddenly, NiP, my aneurysm feels better because the force buy is working.
It absolutely is. And now NaVi needs to make the decision. Do they go for this one? It's Go in a great position here. He's almost guaranteed 1 kill. And actually, NaVi aren't even going to be going for this one. They're going to be holding back and trying to save the weapon and see whether this can lead to them saving 3 rifles. But NiP, you were hating the idea of this force buy, but somehow they managed to go in. Freiburg and Get Right, finding those first 2 kills. The bombs planted in round over. It seems like this investment has paid dividends, as now NaVi should still have cash going to the next round. It won't be great. So Flamey, he's able to drop a weapon to the next round. They're going to get 1,400 overall, so it should be okay for 4 weapons and 1 pistol. Maybe another scout could come into the fray of Guardian with 3k. Well then. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, so Guardian on the scout. I mean, let's just have a 5v5 scouts knives.
Yeah, we've all been calling for that for a long time. I'm not sure whether...
I don't know what the Western Player Union does. 12 teams at a LAN? I want scouts knives. But the scouts will not find anything yet, as they... Okay, I take that back. There is a tag onto Guardian. 3rd shot's a charm. Exist won't battle it long just yet. He did win that last time with both Forrest and Get Right along his side. It's Guardian that's tagged down to 21, still inside of middle as he tries to fire back through the smoke. He does have to be very careful here.
Yeah, this is almost not worth it. Like, surely fall back there.
I mean, it is now 4-4, but you've given a trade to this T side, which is going to thin your defense out, and there's rifles available on both teams still, so the scout damage is negligible in that sense for Guardian. He doesn't have to overcommit.
Like, you're low HP, you've got that man advantage. Fall back to a position like the A ramp and have the jumping shot potential here, but Simple, he's not going down without a fight. He's going to find that first kill, but there it is. NiP coming back in. Freiburg once again stepping up in these big rounds. It's going to be the Molotov towards the side, but you know what? It's a pincer. Exist is coming in from long. What a perfect play this has been from NiP after a very lackluster performance on Overpass. They seem to be coming to life here on Dust2. It will be 2-2. Just Flaming remains. I have to say that Guardian play was questionable. There was no reason to find Hunter pick. They were not really going to gain much from him getting a tag. If he does get a frag, it looks amazing, right? But the potential risk of him actually going down there was so much greater than finding a kill with 20 HP. That's Flamey, the last player remaining, dealt with by Freiburg. He picks up 3 kills this round. Chad was speculating and trying to suggest he needs to keep this form up, and I completely agree. He's had 1 good tournament. You're only as good as your most recent performance, so going forward, he's going to have to keep that foot on the pedal. He can't allow himself to get to the bottom of the scoreboard every single game going forward now. He needs to keep at this level, and NiP can potentially really start to gather some momentum in terms of getting deep in these tournaments.
Michael's got the fast spawn, that dream spawn you talked about to go toward long. He's got an AWP, jumps out, nobody there.
It's almost, especially when you're at the money advantage as well, it's always worth the trying to take that spawn and seeing him get the opening pick. Freiburg, though, he opens things up towards lower B, spots a player on short as well, nails the headshot. And it's going to be Simple. He's got a scout jumping at the B window, takes some damage from Forrest, and he still wants to battle this.
Okay, only Simple says, wait a minute, his crosshair placement hit me when I was jumping? Let me just scooch to the right here. Yeah, cha-cha 3 times, and then hit a jump shot onto Freiburg. As he pulls this back, he's been tagged down to 66 from that first shot. We saw the blood on the wall. That's not good enough to take Simple out of the equation. However, the player at window, Get Right, he will be. As the AK-47 will prevail. NiP looking much better so far, I have to say, than what we saw on the last map.
Yes, absolutely. And there is potential for AWPs this time. It's not going to be in the hands of Guardian, although they do swap it over as Caesar purchases it for him. So, don't really have the resources here for the double orb just yet. That's normally either when you're losing a lot of rounds and the lost bonus is working in your favor, or you're winning a lot. It's an adjustment that's made by the CD side. It's not something you normally go in from the get-go, but it's going to be Flamey tagged through the doors this time. That's at the hands of Michael Ailey. So he gets to 21 HP, and there will be another default for both sides coming in here. Terrorists have gained lower B control as well. No aggression coming in from the CTs to kick things off. But Edward, he's looking to be a bit of a nuisance outside his long doors, left here by himself. You can see the Terrorists are sort of aware. Get right, trying to fire off some speculative shots there behind the door, but doesn't land any damage just yet. But you can see, I think a lot of players know that Edward does favour that position sometimes. As Forest makes his way up towards short, they do have a lot of execution potential. All 5 smokes intact. The Guardian, a very strong line of defense here towards long. Hits the first shot. Edward with that USP towards long as well. Takes down Get Right.
And falls back down, as is traditional in this spot. Smoke out, entrance smoke, creating a longer angle. Talked a little bit about that last night. We're seeing this bounce one a lot more commonly in Freiburg. He's used it to his advantage because not only have they isolated the long players, he's got control of the peak coming in from that position, having already won that duel. However, he's still down to this. He's got 3 kills. He needs an ace to pull this off, as Flamey has an AWP, Seized has an M4, and both of them together have the bomb.
2-on-1, Freiburg, bomb at shorts, and at this point, he's already done significant damage to the economy of the CTs. If he finds one more kill, NiP's still in a great position going forward in terms of the economy game, but here he goes, and that Molotov's actually really nice. CTs can't face the bomb at all now, and if he can just ascertain if there's anyone close to this stage, he can grab the bomb and fall back. I think it's just enough. Oh, it actually might be a little bit too deep.
It's Guardian as well.
Oh!
Nice! Bunny hop, I have to say, from Freiburg. He knows the AWP's at least out towards short. He hits the shot on Seized. It'll give away. They're both there. He knows it now, but it's low HP, 8 seconds. He's got to go for the plant. He commits to it rather than facing off against Flamey. And the Molotov will go back out to hold him off. Now it's the low HP, and Freiburg has done it. Ace clutch for the man who fights for NiP to make them 4-2.
Oh, what a sick round from Freiburg. It seemed like all bets were off. There was nothing he could do in that situation. We were just saying he could probably find one kill and make it difficult for the CTs buy, but he comes in and win it. It all came down to that Molotov placement as well. Push the CTs back just enough. The Bonnie help comes through, picks up the bomb, and I thought they had him as well. They're going in for the chase. They're trying to deny that plan, and they can't trade effectively. It's going to be another eco here for NaVi as Forest open things up. Get Right's looking confident towards long as well. Doesn't nail the headshot, but does spot 2 players towards that area. Freiburg, what a round that was. 4-2. And broken economy of NaVi now. As NiP take that man advantage, things will start to slow down, or will they? Simple seems to be trying to find headshots all over the map. He does take down the hero of the last round, Freiburg.
Even that bunny hop to pick up the bomb was sick.
That's pretty much the only thing he could do. I thought it might just be shallow enough for him to get it without getting contact, but it wasn't. The bunny hop. Only thing that probably could have worked out for him. Interesting. What a great round.
And the timing, everything working out. Get Right this time. Timing, speaking of, he'll find Edward in the open as he jumps back down inside of the mid-ramp. Guardian on the Deagle. He falls to Get Right as well. So same position, same fate. And NiP with a 3-round lead. 5-2. Having not won the pistol, finally getting gun rounds in their favor. We'll go against rifles again this time, and it is going to be Simple. I take that back. Sorry, it looked like Simple was had it. My eyes mislead me. It's Guardian and Seized that have the double up, so they are sticking with the normal rules this time around.
Interesting. Okay, well, maybe the full adjustments haven't come in yet. We saw it on overpass. Like you said, that huge lead. Forest gets the first shot, takes down the aforementioned primary AWPer. Michael Eddy going aggressive through the quarter smoke there. Finds Edward trying to retreat as well. So another 5-on-3. NiP in a fantastic position here. Don't need to overcommit at this point. So much time to play with. That man advantage as well. 2 of them, in fact. I feel like this could be something that could come back to haunt them. There it is. The first shot comes in from Guardian. He's just waiting for this as well. Freiburg doing damage through the corner of the wall. Not quite enough just to get the kill just yet. But the Molotov will give them position to plant.
Position indeed, and it's going to be Simple advancing upon this as the bomb does not get dropped in down to the objective position. In down, that might be an Australian saying. I'm just going to, everything I say wrong from now on, it's an Australian saying. Forrest, he's going to cross over, gap in the smoke. He's gotten in position. He's going to go for the AK-47 as well, rather than the AWP. Having to get aggressive as Get Right. He's come back up catwalk, found 2, and flushed out the last remaining player toward quad and at CT spawn. And Get Right, 3 kills late. But he's known for that kind of prowess, isn't he?
Absolutely. Well, a very back and forth round there. It's quite difficult to analyze. There's so many individual plays stepping into the fray, and this time it's Get Right after Simple did some great work from quad there, shutting down the bomb as well. I did say it at the start, NiP with that advantage. There's so much time to play as well. Did they have to fully commit at that stage? Did they have to take those risks? Maybe could have found out where Guardian was and shut him out properly. They gave him 2 kills, but Simple, he was the one stepping up there tremendously. Get Right finishes things off, and it's another eco for NaVi here. This is a very quick game indeed. It's kills every second, it seems, as Get Right takes up the first one against Simple this time. It's another pistol by from NaVi. Guardian has got the scout, though. He'll actually be patrolling towards mid once again. See if he can do anything with this position. Gets tagged through the door. He's going to have two teammates in front of him. A little bit of lag there. Is he moving? There he is. He's back. 4 players now, all the CTs remaining towards mid. But Forrest has got a bit of a shooting gallery and exists. He'll be there to pick up the pieces.
And he's picking up a few good pieces, however.
Yeah.
Edward nearly takes him down for his troubles. All 5 alive again for NiP and NaVi. Maybe they're the ones to take a pause. Is this? We're already to the average rounds against them. 7/8, depending on how you do the math. If you're going to round up or round down.
Yeah.
And they've only got 2. Is this where it ends? Is this where the shutout gets broken?
An auto sniper, interesting decision on Dust2 especially. Not normally a weapon you want to be bringing on this map. It's very rare to see it on Dust2. Normally Mirage, Train comes to mind, but not Dust2. And Flamey, oh, does he dare face into the tunnel? Forrest is just waiting for him at this stage. There's going to be a contact place, and Michael needs to be careful. It's actually quite an interesting angle from Flamey. He doesn't want to overcommit at all. Let's get a first kill, looking for 2, but then he can get 1 in that situation. Sees that to back him up, though.
Good pick up as Freiburg's going to push back into middle.
Doing?
Guardian, exactly. That caught in the open.
Surely, if it's, you know, a beast player is probably the most standard strategy on this map. You don't just run around the mid doors with a nade in your hand. Flash it first. Anything but that.
Anything but
Anything.
that. Well, it is a problem because it's now 3 versus 3 again. This will split up the defense. And they're going to try and pinch and isolate Seized, who's inside of the B site. Potential it works. He's hugging the big box to try and just cover tunnels that'll leave him unexposed to anyone coming out from middle, but they've slowed up on this tremendously, and in slowing down, they've got players lurking in middle behind them. Seized, he's read this right as they walk into the B site. Down goes Freiburg. Forrest, he'll win the duel against Edward. That's a big kill for Get Right. Now they can go back over toward A, so the late lurk nearly prevails for NaVi, but Seized, he's not the one who bought it, but he's the one who will wield it. Guardian is disconnected, so I imagine we'll get a pause at the end of this round, which may give us a chance to dissect what could be NaVi's best chance in a long time. As Seized with this auto sniper, he'll allow the plant. He's not yet in position to go toward Catwalk, but he is watching through CT. Doesn't happen. Get Right. He's won the duel with an AK from far.
I thought that was a strange play from Get Right, but apparently it works out for him. Just jumps to crossover. He knows the auto sniper's there. And all of a sudden, the round falls apart, and it's going to be Seized that can't finish things off. 8-2 now. Guardian, I did spot a little bit of lag on his side when we were in his POV, so I assume that's what he's gone to do. He's going to restart his net, and will be that technical pause. Maybe DDoS was an issue. I have no idea. I couldn't really tell you, but it looked like he was lagging, which is a strange thing in 2016, but there's normally a reason for it, so we'll go restart the nets, and we'll see what NaVi can bring into round number 11. No money available, that's for sure. After losing the pistol and the round ensuing it as well, it was a force buy from NiP. They got them on the board, and they've won all 8 rounds in a row. Quite similar scenes to what we saw on Overpass on NaVi's side.
Yeah, this is abysmal from NaVi. For a map that they are normally, you know, the creme de la creme, cream of the crop.
Cream of the crop, creme de la creme. Any other cliches you got?
Yeah, no.
No.
I can think of some. Are you trying to make me?
Let's see if how witty you are. How many you've got ready to go?
See, I don't use cliches. I'm a good enough writer. I come up with my own metaphors and similes.
Well, Guardian's back. He's not going to mess around here. I'll have a look at his ping. It's going to be 50, so it's fine. We're back into it. It's all good. Well then, an eco, perhaps, for NaVi here. The money's not great. They do get some deagles, 3 of them to be exact. A smoke and a nade. I'm going to follow where the nade goes, whether Edward tries to deceive the AWPer of the terrace. There it is. Smoke towards mid. Maybe a stack at this point. Smoke goes in. And they will be boosting 1 player towards short. That's going to be Edward. He's got the deagle. No particular stack here. The smoke was just to actually protect them from damage. Normally, if you put that smoke down, you can try and pretend that maybe no one's got players gone towards B when you've got a stack towards A, or maybe the other way around.
Just really copping some nade damage out from short.
Actually got the T-spawn here, Seized.
Yeah, this isn't bad considering it's the pistols. He's just going to book it as well as soon as he's gone that far. He'll leave his teammate, therefore Flamey, inside of the B tunnel, so there's no way to wrap back around. Edward's trying to use the Kenny S wall. It's Carr. That's simple. Needs to go big from. He peeks early. He's not going to try and catch them off. He doesn't want to chance it, but he's got 1 kill. He's running out of ammo. 3 bullets left. And it took us 3 seconds to find those bullets. Simple. What have you done? You've augmented augmented reality into some warped dimension where which time stops long enough for us to realize you are a god, because he finds 3 kills and Flamey, he'll find Exist. That's going to make it just Michael versus 2. And Simple, he's still alive in this with that AK-47. 2 headshots when he had 3 bullets to work with. Michael's going to pull it back with a nice one tap from the AK though, and it's down to the one-on-one. Flamey does not have armor. He does not have a kit.
Well then, Simple. It got a bit laggy, but the result, you can't argue with that. 3 headshots from the Deagle. Flamey now has got the AK-47. And Michael, did he spot him? He didn't. Oh, Michael, that's not the greatest position to be in.
Simple can take credit for this one.
Yeah. Well, I swear he spotted him on my screen, but let's see, GoTV, not 100% accurate, but still. Flamey does finish things off. I wish it hadn't lagged at that point. That looked magnificent.
No, I know. I'm just seeing it again now on the Twitch delay. And
there we go. Oh, there it is. Nice little replay. Get it off. There it is. It did look pretty cool in the end. Just a shame it's the worst possible time for lag, right?
Yeah, I had no idea what to expect. I wasn't sure it was coming back. Glad I stuck through with it because it gives NaVi now their 3rd round, something they've struggled to attain in multiple situations, even one-on-ones in the past. Crossover, Mike can't find the shot to anyone that's going to get toward the B site, but they're going quickly. Forrest, he's got an AWP to greet them. Good dodge of the flash, but that gives C's the angle to cover him off, and that is well coordinated from NaVi. They know the timing, the flash in. The only angle by which Forrest could already arrive to is the far right side, and it's a good shot coming through. NaVi, the man advantage.
Absolutely. Well, man advantage coming in. Interesting to note that Seed is indeed the secondary AWP, and he gets a 2nd kill as well. So that all adds up as we go into a 5-on-3. There is going to be Michael with the AWP still in his hands. Smoke towards Xbox comes in. That's to protect yourselves from the AWP, but that could be potentially towards middle, looking at shorts. Even if you don't use it, it takes vision away from the CTs. They can't really get a good call as to what's going on towards that area. Freiburg, been great so far in the earlier rounds. We'll see what he can do by himself towards short. Looking for that entry kill, but Edward in a great position. No terrorist really pre-fired its angle. He's great for 1 kill to drop down. Take yourself back to safety. I actually really like this. Should be good for 1 kill, but Michael Lady, he's ready for it. Takes him down. And could this be the opening they need? But Guardian, simple shot for him. Blacklight didn't work out, and that's even better. Get right drops, and is this going to be Freiburg? Oh my God, Guardian. Glorious.
What is that?
Glorious.
And no check toward Car after that smoke goes over. Michael just books it toward the pit. Doesn't even consider covering the angle on his way through. But Guardian stepping up to the plate. 8 rounds now for NiP. We'll have a double op set up once more. C's to be the 2nd man on the weapon, and it's going to be Mike with an AWP along with the 4 AK. So NiP did build up a substantial chunk of change inside of the wallet, so we knew that, but now it's starting to get chiseled away at from NaVi as Mike, he's got a Molotov out in front. Michael Edley's just going to sit back along with his AWP and see if anyone pushes through that. It would be a dream scenario if they did, if he could find that opening kill. We know they've done so on ecos, but it's really not been much otherwise.
Well then, NaVi have taken a battering for 8 rounds. They managed to string 2 together, chipping away at the terrorist economy. It's pretty much their last buy, to be fair. As we enter round number 13, what a quick half it's been here. Exists with a smoke towards CT spawn. Looks like a B split coming in here. Michael Lady trying to take some attention towards the B side as well. Flamey to defend as the flashbangs come in as well. It's a fast play, but Get Right nails that first shot. Up to C's now alone. Isolated players coming from all angles, but Guardian assists through the smoke and CT spawn. C just needs to find one, which he does. Looking for more, but Get Right does equal the situation to a 3-on-3.
Just trying to play on the smoke, though. He's waited. He'll let Edward go. Doesn't use him to draw out his teammates, though. He does try and push back through and find Exist. If he had waited a second longer, he may have found a 2nd kill out of that, as well as Guardian was walking up from middle, as it's now he and Simple trying to get back inside of the site. And Mike with AWP, he's gonna get tagged up. They know where he's in the back of the platform. The smoke's a little bit deep. He's got a bit of a lane to try and fire back through. Headshot on a Simple. It's not an easy shot to hit against that wall with just the head showing. Guardian's gone back in. He'll get the refrag, but now he's got to try and bait out this plant, bait out Get Right, who's inside of the smoke, and realizes exactly where Guardian's gone.
Lovely play from Get Right there. 3 kills in total. The B split comes in. You can see how surprised NaVi were at that. They have 2 players on the side, sure, but Flamey, he needs to be finding 1 kill. Gets taken out straight away by Get Right. Just doing pulling out all the stops there. And C does get 1. I said he probably needed that and some more, but after he went down, the retake was always going to be difficult. What the interesting note was, as soon as the smokes went down for the terrace, Get Right pushes through at the perfect time as well. Gets himself outside and makes things very difficult for the CTs and his Guardian, who pushes through a smoke himself and takes down Forrest at the start of the round.
It's going to be Get Right on the AWP instead. from one legend to another. Not often we see Get Right use that committedly, so he'll throw it back over to someone who's a little more familiar with how to hold a long shaft.
I actually asked him in our interview, we saw you AWPing the other day. Do you think there's any chance you could ever do that role? I just said to him, what do you think? And he said, no. I will pick it up when it's on the ground. I would try and use it, but I will never be an AWPer.
And I imagine Chris would have said it knowing the humor intact with the...
exactly.
Yeah, with the question.
So I think I just saw him in a Pro League game using it for a couple of rounds. It's like, oh, could this be the new plan? Get Right's going to be the AWPer.
Imagine.
Yeah.
Late lurk op.
Yeah.
Michael, he's got smoke in front of him, thrown intentionally to allow Simple to cross back over, as with his teammate. Flamey, who's going to wait just beyond that if they do push through, but it's going to be catwalk right now, by which NiP wishes to ascertain this A site and force Edward out, who's got a shotgun. Watch for the charging shotgun, the jump along the wall. That seems to be the trend when the Mag 7's in this position. You'll see a smoke out, not a flash, but he anticipates that it might be, so looks away, and there it is. Jump forward to try and get closer and use the mechanics. That's unfortunately not found much, but Guardian, he's got one before tagged down and taken out by Michael Lilly. It's going to be Mike that walks back round. There's still a chance for Edward. Finally, Freiberg will put him down. It's going to be just Seized remaining, and he's a long way removed from the action.
Oh, okay. If he gets his first shot, there's a chance to exist in a perfect position to lock him down. Not going to have a chance there. Just tucks himself in the corner, and Caesar doesn't even predict that being a possibility. We go into round number 15. It's going to be the same scoreline we saw in the first game map. But
yep. In reverse.
Yeah,
maybe.
in complete reverse, which is kind of nuts, considering we've actually had some really exciting rounds from NaVi. So if you think about it, they won the first 2 rounds in a pistol, and they won that round of the Desert Eagle with Simple, so they've won a single gun round in total. And there's actually been some really, really close rounds here. Simple 14 kills, Guardian with 10. You'd think the scoreline would suggest it otherwise, but here we go. C's trying to kick things off, which he does, takes down Forest, but Exist is there in return. Guardian's already gone down to 25 HP. Once again, I'm getting deja vu here. Low HP, facing towards middle. Is it worth it? Oh, it would have been perfect if he died at that point. And I could have really dug into him, but didn't have to. Would have been
just
really
looking to be
delicious.
savage, Henry. That's where you've come to in life. You're just
Yeah.
like, I want any excuse to absolutely wreck someone.
Yeah. Didn't happen.
It's true. I know. I know you're a bitter child.
Yeah. And then some.
And then some. You're an angry swan. It's Freiberg in lower tunnels is going to throw a late Xbox smoke. That'll cover off any vision that the CTs might have hoped to have toward him as they rotate over toward the B site where Guardian's waiting. Jump shot, not landing. He's on 25 HP, keep in mind, as well, so very vulnerable. But Flamey lines up 2. He's got him as well. Doesn't bother waiting for the 3rd, but Michael on the doorstep, not found by Guardian, as Guardian's perished before he could do anything of the trade. It does still give a 2 versus 1 situation to Michael with an AWP. He gets aggressive toward mid to see that it's covered off. Should give him the indication as well that they are rotating around the tunnels behind him.
Both of them there as well. That's interesting. The smoke's going to go down. That's the shot.
And that's why they did it, because they knew the AK was there. So they rotate both toward the guns, and he misses the shot. Edward picks up the Kushnikov, or however you say it, and then they get the defuse.
That was right.
Yeah, Kalishnikov, I think that's correct. So it is going to be 10 to 5. That's pretty good, I have to say, considering what you thought coming into this, Henry. You told me it was going to be 11-4. You lied to me.
I did lie to you. I'm sorry.
You lied to me a lot.
But that scout
I
play...
asked you what was going on between you and Machine, and you lied to me.
Look, that's complicated. You said you wouldn't bring it up on air, and you're doing it already.
Sometimes you got to blackmail a guy to get an answer from him.
I'm supposed to break this down in some sort of analysis. I haven't got time. It's going to be a break. Let's see if this game gets any better. It's 10-5. Don't go anywhere.
A wise man once told me that a ninja in pajamas was a sleepy soldier, but they're wide awake in this game, finally, because, unlike Overpass, they've got a hefty lead. In fact, almost the same score in reverse. 10-5, NaVi did manage to sneak one gun round in the midst of all of that, which NiP failed to do on Overpass, but now we get to see if NaVi, if this unbeaten streak will remain intact. They've got to come up pretty positive on this second half, including starting with the pistol.
They do indeed. They're very good on their T side as well, NaVi, so it's going to be a tough battle for NiP to hold on to, but we'll see as they swap over here. Interesting to see, like, we were speculating that I kind of was the one who even coined it, saying, oh yeah, it's going to be simple coming in to that secondary AWP role. It didn't happen on Dust2, which is probably the most impactful map. It's probably the strongest setup the CTs can have. I thought this would be the one. We saw an overpass, but like you said,
I think
it's
Cash
like
is still really good double up.
Yeah, but I think Dust2 overall, like that's when you're really like firing on all cylinders and you can control the map and control the aggression, you're actually hitting your shots. That's the most impactful you can actually have. But we saw an overpass, but the point I want to make is that you actually made sense when you said, unbelievable, right?
Thank you.
When you have that kind of lead, you're going 11-4, you're fine to experiment some stuff and see how it goes at that point. You're very unlucky you're going to lose the game. But what's this? Is this live? No.
Yes, they have a kiss in the first
they
round.
listened to my discussion in the first map and said, you know what? Pistol rounds, not such a good idea.
Well, we'll wait for this to get underway. It's going to do so exactly now. Don't forget, 2 more games coming up tonight, as well as some of the additional games on the secondary stream. What are you laughing at, Henry?
Just every time we're on camera, why does it say kiss
They
cam?
really want us to kiss, but, you know,
Why is that?
I have to say only a second-rate casting pair would kiss on camera. That's just, that is pandering to the crowd, and we don't do that.
Absolutely. Anyway, get right. He's looking to impress the crowd as he's going up towards middle by himself. He's got a little bit of backup there towards mid door, decides to fall back. Michael Lady watching towards low B. This is a very aggressive pistol run. Look at the minimap right now. 4 CTs towards middle. And the problem is, he's going to be Forrest by himself in the back of B. I guess that's pretty safe at this stage, considering he's got the silence USP, get 1 kill and try and stay alive as long as possible. And it's going to be them trying to bait in, get right towards this area. If NiP can get his pistol, they're so tantalizingly close to taking this map. It's going to be an exchange here. It's on the knife edge. Who gets his first kill? A lot of damage being dealt at the start. Oh, God.
From Get Right, he's only got 1. It's simple with the team kill. It looked like it was a kill, but it was a bit of a lag there. I thought, okay, maybe shot, and then the kill came in. We realized now the bullet came from elsewhere. It was betrayal. Simple wants to go back to North America, perhaps. That's a lie. We know he doesn't. As Exist on 9 HP, 3 versus 3 though, and Simple just waiting on a catwalk and to try and figure out exactly what's going on this CT side. It's a 1-1-1 split right now. The one in the middle of all that, down towards CT spawn. It's Freiberg, and he's got 100 HP to work with. He's got a kit though. No armor spots ahead, but can't land it. Now he does. Edward jumping. I'm sure that motion, his muscle was already in effect before he realized it was too late, because he spots Freiberg just as he leapt into the air, and it's going to be to his detriment. However, they do pull back against Exist. Low HP player. What relayed information can they achieve from that? And Freiberg with this kit, remember we said they go against him, no armor to push him away. If he goes down in CT spawn, it's a long rotation for Forrest to go toward it, so they've got to act a little bit quick on this. But Freiberg manages to stay alive and win the first duel. Simple, nice shot toward Forrest. And now it's a brawl. It's Freiberg versus the man who team killed to start it, but may pull it back in the end because he's tagged Freiberg down to 6 HP. Quick pop flash bounce. Simple spots that around the corner. Second one comes in. That's going to blind him, but he holds true and nails the shot.
What a shot that was towards long. That's the round end of this then. That's a message to Freiberg saying, do not mess with me. I'm ready to go. And he just panics at that stage. He's got 2 flashbangs remaining, but they're not going to really amount to too much at that stage. A couple of flashes over. Simple just needs to land 1 bullet. Spams the USP as the second flash comes in. Finishes it off. What a play that was from Simple. Like he said, a team kill in that round as well. He actually gets 5 kills in total, but one of them...
It's not an ace, though.
No, it does not count. I'm afraid. Okay then, that was a very exciting pistol. NiP so aggressive at the start, getting his initial kills as well. It was absolutely frantic, but there's not going to be a force buy here. Makes sense, NiP seems to be trying to manage their economy on the second round more efficiently, not having been forcing in with armor and deagles and everything. They just get the upgraded pistols and give themselves some options to win the round, but not relying on the Kevlar to cannon through it. It's going to be the scout for Freiberg this time, interesting enough. See what he can do here at the start of the round. Does attack Guardian, I believe. I didn't see the shot, but it has been done at the start. I guess it was through the door as we kick things off.
Guardian's going to start pushing down through the suicide spot. As he gets closer to that doorway, Freiberg tries to return fire with his scout through the gap. Unfortunately, gets caught off by Flamey in the process. And Forrest, he'll try and resume this battle. Does manage to get the shot finally as he peeks out. Third bullet. The magic 8th bullet, you remember that theory?
No.
That was during the whole Flusha cheating thing. They were saying the 8th bullet was the one that would track.
Yeah, I got
Yeah, right? Isn't that amazing? The detectives on the internet, Forrest, he doesn't need 8. He's got 7 inside of that mag, and he's apparently only need 2 to 3 in each time he fires because he's got 2 headshots now, and a third kill is simple. Doesn't realize that he's rotated back over toward the window. It's going to leave him fully exposed outside of the mid doorways as Seized will follow up onto Forrest walking in, and it's suddenly turning back to Navi's favor, but they're low on HP, and Michael Lilly's picked up an AK-47.
Okay.
Nice shot from Exist onto Seized, and Guardian's got 28 HP, 15 seconds, a scout, and a bomb still to plant in all of this. Is Exist waiting in the window? Does he spot him just in time? Doesn't really matter. Michael Lilly's rotated around from the tunnels.
Forrest with 3 kills. 2 of them were spectacular as well. That one of the starters, the headshot through the door. He falls back, nails it from window, and then able to find a player with a reload as they're coming up towards B as well. Freiburg actually getting a couple of tags in there as well. Might have got the most kills, but definitely influential in the round. And a decent pin set from the CT to finish things off. 11-6. Money going to be difficult for the terrorists. They do force into this. Full array of rifles for the ninjas in pajamas. Number 3. This game has definitely been one of the most exciting we've casted on Pro League, I'd say, in terms of the close moments. And I guess Dust2 is always one of those maps that's going to deliver in that respect. It's a very fast map, it's spawn-based, and just for moments like this is what Counter-Strike's about. Edward comes out towards long, takes Freiburg down with Desert Eagle headshot, and all of a sudden, NaVi are back into this one.
Simple's got the shot against Michael, though.
It's nuts, isn't it?
The Deagles are going nuts, indeed. Simple is going to try and hold this angle up toward Quad as well. Nearly another shot toward Forrest, but he'll fall back. And as he does so, it's the M4 to prevail. Guardian not able to land the shot toward Elevator. He'll be smoked off. But Bomb's still coming down from long. It's still a 3 versus 3 in all of this. Edward on an M4. He's going to let Flamey go first with the Deagle. Tries to find the shot on Exist. Can't land, but the M4 will immediately pull back, and that shot on Forrest is godlike. What is that? They grab the bomb back, and it's Get Right to clutch it, and he can't do it. Guardian hits a running headshot with the scout.
Okay.
Who pissed off the gods of Counter-Strike today because they're throwing down thunder everywhere?
Well then, Edward just goes out long by himself. 1 dig to kick things off, of course. Ends up getting 2 more spectacular shots, and it's Guardian with a scout there on the side. And 2 versus 1, I thought Get Right still had a chance in that one. Needed to land that initial headshot, can't do it. Won't be a force buy from them, but they have got some upgraded weaponry. It's going to be Forrest getting tagged just through the edges of the door there. Doesn't do significant damage. They're still challenging. Freiburg trying to do what he can here, but does take down Guardian. That's not a matchup that I thought would be going in his favor. Apparently he does come out on top in the scout duel. Well then, could this be another round that has these stupidly insane 1 digs going forward? I'm not so sure, but let's see what Get Right can do with the UMP. Push towards middle, does do some damage towards Simple, but he comes out on top as it will be now a 4 versus 4. A kill return for the terrorists.
Edward as well now, just watching out toward long, 11-7, NiP. Only with 1 round so far in this second half. Seized wrapping the corner just to check exactly what's going on out toward the car. Michael rotates over, gonna get caught. Edward's the one to take him back. He did pick up Simple immediately before that, though. Announced the boost for Freiburg up the elevator towards the platform. However, Edward's there as he goes for the second jump. Freiburg gets caught off. It's going to be straightforward. Finally, for once in a round, as Exist, he'll die at the top of the catwalk. 11-8. So they get 1 closer out of this, and they take money out of the pockets of NiP.
Well then, this is going to be one of the first full egos we've seen of this game. What an exciting kickoff to the second half it's been. 11-8 now. NaVi closing the gap here. It should almost certainly be 11-9. As the money next round, they'll have 3rd stage loss, but definitely a buy available for the CT, so quite a conservative round going forward. PD50s and 5-7s, stacked towards long, but Edward taking advantage of a decent spawn he had, looking for the second kill, gets that as well. Going to fall back at this point, his Guardian. He's picking up the pieces towards middle. It's going to be Get Right trying to push through, and Guardian takes him down with that Mac 10, picks up an extra $600 as well. Michael Lilly, pretty simple transaction for him towards the mid doors. Guardian goes down, but not really much lost. He only has that SMG, as I mentioned before. Okay, Flamey.
Tap away, try and do something with the weapon. Michael Lilly, though, all the way back toward T-spawn, 11-9 on the scoreboard, just as we say it. So it's NaVi pulling back slowly. Remember what we said. They have to protect this unbeaten streak. I'd say they're already on the way to Brazil. They're somewhere in the air between Ukraine and Brazil at this point in time, but you might as well do it with style, with fashion, and who knows if they go to these 6-team groups, what these seedings entail. I mean, obviously you want to be in the position to get the most advantage from that.
Well, I saw Simple with the best spawn towards long, decides not to take it. Actually uses the smoke towards mid doors, takes the risk of going down suicide, works out for him as well. Looks like something fast coming in from now, but we don't normally expect that from their T-sided play. Going to have 2 players towards lower B. Not committing just yet, but Simple, Seized and Flamey all waiting towards that area. Guardian could flash him in towards mid doors. It'll be Michael Ailey though. From the crossover, trying to back up towards middle. That's where Forrest is waiting. Is he boosted up? He is. This is to stop the mid split, so you can actually look over that box and try and spray down any ensuing terrorists towards the B side, but they've actually changed up their approach. It's going to be towards short this time. Still have 4 smokes as well. Could go for a full execute. Doesn't seem like they have a real read on what they want to do just yet. Just filling out the map a little bit more, seeing if they can just get something to work with here. A stray CT caught by himself. It's Edward is going out towards long once again, backed up by Guardian.
Freiburg's though waiting inside of this pit position. He's going to try and get them baited in. Edwards already spotted him, though. Now he's got a problem. It's going to have to pull Michael Lilly down, and he's flashed, so he can't quite get to the angle to cover him off immediately. Instead, waits at the car. It's Flamey that takes 1 step too far, and Michael Lilly, he's gone back toward Catwalk as well. Seized will drop. Bomb stays up, but Mike's got 3 as Simple falls next. They've lost Freiburg at the pit in all of this, but they now know where the last 2 remaining players are. The flash missed time. That should have been easy for Edward, but he gets caught by it. Mike will eventually go down, but it leaves him in the open to exist.
Oh,
it is Guardian 1 versus 3, though. Let's not call the round done because we know what this man's capable of. 20 seconds, I
20
think.
seconds.
Yeah, you're right. I know. Look, I was trying to make some fun storylines out of this, Henry.
You're reaching.
Yes.
Well, 1 player remaining will be Guardian, of course. The money is in a decent position with the terrorists, so before the even loss bonus comes in, it's going to be 7k on 2 of the players, and Guardian, of course, saving his orb. He's got 3k as well, so he can drop over a weapon if required, but I don't think it will be at this stage. We've got enough to spread the wealth around, and finally, Michael Lego. That's a really nice setup there. You can see 1 player in the pit, 1 in car, and 1 in Goose as well. It's everything covered, a nice sort of crossfire towards that A side. Michael Lego definitely the linchpin in that situation, backing up every position towards long nails the first shot, then gets 2 towards short as well. So go 12-9. There is a buy from NaVi. It's a little bit delayed, but it does come in. Guardian, of course, in the AWP himself. Probably will be a very similar setup towards the A site. So going to another default here. Much slower stance from NaVi. Not going to be going down to suicide at the start of the round. Smoke from Michael goes into the long doors. Buys his teammate a little bit more time. Edward has been a bit of a nuisance towards that area.
Re-smoke as well inside of those B tunnels to hold off any charging NaVi players. This game certainly has a slower pace to it in this half. As Exist waiting in towards CT is going to set crossfire for Forrest. You can watch the drop as he watches middle. That does entail that somewhere on the map there's a missing CT from a default. That's over at B, and that's where Get Right is right now. So this could actually be an interesting thought, because when they go toward Catwalk, they don't find an opening required. Bomb's still back toward T side. If they start to probe this out, Get Right's going to have to step up. But as we see it now, he may not have to at all. As I built up a storyline again, Henry, would you say I was reaching again?
No, that's fine.
Okay.
You said you were just saying what you saw, and then they've changed their mind. So that's fine.
Okay, thank you. Just checking. I'm new. I got to make sure I do this right.
You'll get there. ECS are doing a tournament where you can actually be a caster yourself.
Yeah,
so
but
when you
Mega
enter that-
Man's in that.
So you can't win?
I can't win. He's top 5 caster in the world, remember? As Michael's going to try and hold off the angle toward long, though. Freiburg, he gets out of the pit. He plays far to the right as you walk in, and that's going to be just enough to change it up and catch them off. But it's only a 1-for-1, and that leaves Flamey alive. He finds Michael. Now Simple's following in. Forced. He's got very little movement on this ramp. He knows there's a player pushing down long. He tries to time it. Times it wrong. Flamey shows up just as he looks away. It's on to Get Right. 1 versus 2. He's rotated over from the B site. Headshot available to him, but he won't find the accuracy, as it's another opportunity for Guardian, and you do not want to give that guy a second chance. If you're in a relationship with Guardian and you break up with him, leave it. Don't let him back in, because he will stab you twice.
Bit dark, but I like the metaphor at least. That's kind of cool. Anyway, we're going to go into round number 8. NiP have been broken at this point. It was one round going in their favor and then being fully reset. This could almost be a double eco. And some upgraded pistols coming in. They've left themselves about $1,000. It's almost certainly going to be. This could be a 12-12 game. And after NiP has that huge lead after the first half, NiP have done some fantastic, NaVi, sorry, have done some fantastic work to get back into this. So Getright's gone for the UMP and body armor. He actually had a little bit more money than everyone else, so I guess that mentality is balancing the books, making sure everyone has equal cash. Never really seen the benefit of that to myself, but if he gets 1 kill, maybe 2, that's paid off the debt for that weapon at least, but we'll see what he can do here. He'll be waiting towards B window.
Flamey is so far up at this long position already, NiP. You start to fear for them when you see the storyline of this second half develop. If they can finally close this off. Michael seems to think so. He's got 2, a lineup on a Guardian and a third. What is Michael Lilly doing? Another big round for him as Seized will fall down, as Edward will pull it back with a Mac 10 as best as possible, but the Deagles, they're wreaking havoc. And Michael, he's not only grabbed an AK and thrown that to his teammate, he's got an AWP. The round's over regardless. They'll carry this in. And 13-10 now our score.
What is going on with the Desert Eagles tonight? That was nuts from Michael Lilly. We've got a nice replay coming in here. That was the second shot. The third as well, of course. When you get in the zone like that, I guess you can't really miss. It's going to be 13-10. And a round I completely took NiP out of. I didn't think they had stood a chance. Just a UMP to work with. Somehow they come out on top. And NaVi in return have got the force spy coming in as well. Guardian's just got a Glock. What is this? He hasn't purchased anything. Well, his teammate will go down. I guess he was actually relying on Simple to have that long spawn. He gets completely destroyed by the grenades. I assume he didn't have armor. I was a bit confused at the start of the round what was going on. So the idea was Guardian was going to allow him to go for the first pick. He probably had that upgraded pistol in return. Had he not got it, he'd have thrown that pistol over. And, well, no, he would have kept the pistol and Guardian would have picked up the orb in return. But still, a bit of a crazy way to kick things off. Simple just gets naded to death. And it will be potentially a 14-10 half here, but we'll see what happens. Mac 10 still in the hands of Exist. Picked up from the previous round. So it's ready to Tech 9 as well. They're setting up for a B split by the looks of things for now. Smoke comes in. It's a little bit deeper than usual. To get out of the tunnel, but they're readdressing this situation. Going to be leaving the tunnels altogether as Smoke's go towards CT spawn as well. It's just the old bait and switch as they go towards A. The bomb's certainly in that area for now. They have got 2 smokes remaining and a couple of Molotovs as well. So it looks like A play will be coming in. But Michael Lilly, after having such a massive round in the previous, looking to deliver once again with the AWP towards Car.
Car indeed for Michael. This is where his other big fancy highlight play was made so far this evening. We'll see if he can replicate that fashion once more, as there's no one on the air ramp. He's got to hit these shots. They've already rounded toward quad. They got a lineup. Shoulder bait will pull out a second bullet from the barrel of that gun, but the third one, it's the charm. It's going to take down Guardian. Freiberg's picked up 2. That's enough. Edward only picking up 2 kills for Michael to close the round and make it 14-10. We're 2 away from seeing this goose egg hatch into a 1. In terms of the loss column for NaVi.
Yeah, so they're currently 7-0, the only team without a defeat here in Pro League. And this is looking like, well, very likely to be their first loss. You can see they've got around 2.3k average, maybe a little bit more than that, maybe 2.4. And it's going to be an interesting decision. The tactical pause comes in. What's the play here? Do you allow NiP to go to match points, or do you force up and challenge it and potentially throw everything away? It's definitely worth a pause and discussing. It looks like they'll be going for a safer option of, well, I guess which way you look at it. Is this safer or is this more dangerous? It's a moment where you're choosing the lesser of 2 evils. So they've gone for PT50s on the T side. Smoked basically right now, very unlikely to win the round, try and get a plant down. And then they're going to need 5 in a row. 5 clean rounds on the T side. A team that can certainly have that potential to do so, considering the form they've shown here already on the T side, but NiP in a fantastic position going forward. I just don't see a world where NaVi, sorry, can pick this one up. No Deagles this time. They've been I think the Deagles been the MVP of Dust2 so far for both teams.
Yeah, I think I agree. The Deagle's been excellent. Sexcellent, you might even say.
Sexcellent, yes. I probably would say that.
Okay, me. You are cheesy enough to use something like that.
Yeah. So a little B play here. 4 in the tunnels for now. Okay, this will be a flash from top of middle. Who's that at the top? I think it's Seized. So he has a flash who plays in lower B. He flashes over. They just run through mid doors and try and do what they can. 1 flash has already been used, and here comes the second from Seized. Getright's trying to get aggressive in the smoke. And we'll see whether Forest outside, this flash actually affects him. He's actually dropped the incendiary at the perfect time. C still has his flash. I'm sure it'll be used momentarily. 3 players waiting for it. And here it comes. There it is. And Forest not going to be affected by it at all.
Guardian just walking slowly. Forest, he's going to relocate toward the window. That's actually the timing that Guardian needs to get toward that position, but he's caught in the end due to a lovely smoke that's going to isolate Flamey and be his death as he gets sprayed down through it. NiP looking to get toward map point convincingly. Remember last night against Astralis, it was Dust2 and overpass. They picked up Dust2 and lost an overpass. We could have the same thing again for NiP.
We'll see what happens here. It's still a glimmer of hope here for NaVi as they find another headshot. 3-on-2 with Exist low as well. Yeah, you need to be careful with Forest getting the job done. He finds his third kill of the round as well, looking to close things out, which he will. A little bit of shaky towards the end. You can see him readjusting himself, trying to work out why he wasn't cleaner in that execution. But still, we go into round number 11. Match point for the Ninjas after getting, I would say, battered on overpass. Not really showing up or rising to the occasion. They are giving us a very good performance here on Dust2. A 10-5 victory in the first half, and then actually losing the pistol and bouncing back on the second. Been some very exciting rounds of the Deagles. Simple towards the car. Michael's an A site. It's been an electrifying game in that respect. But we go into last chance saloon for NaVi. Guardian on the scout. 4 AKs. Very limited in terms of utility. 2 smokes, 3 flashbangs. Make it 2 now as they make their way towards middle. Going to be pushing out, but Forest is waiting for them and drops the correct incendiary, but the timing's off as C's finds the headshot.
Right's going to time it out. You said timing was the word, but he can't land the conversion on the shots. As Flamey turns back to find him down, it's a 2-man advantage with a bomb plant. NaVi, they've got Simple waiting on the lurk to catch these guns to take them away from NiP. He needs to get the spray onto Michael, but that's all right. They're going to get the round regardless. So we will go to a 15-11 situation. And money on the NiP side. It's actually, these kills from Simple are actually pretty large, considering how close the last few rounds have been. If he did taking down Michael Lilly in completion there. Yes, he's got enough for an AWP in the next round, but it would have been Seized still alive as they're going to hit a situation where they have to invest in after getting reset by 3 rounds, and one of those what-ifs. And Freiburg stays alive to take him down. Now they're losing all the weapons.
They are indeed.
Guardian's going to try and flank it off. Michael's still in a position where the AWP. Simple. If Simple had hit that shot before he gets around the wall, I don't want to harp on him too much because he did late lurk and try and catch them off, but that would have been at least 3 kills at the end of the round they wouldn't have had to deal with.
Yeah, so even though they win the round, now it's a very similar situation to the previous. Yes, they get the win bonus of the round, but it's still not enough to get the AWP out. All 5 players having to invest into this. You can see a Galil, a scout, make it 2 AKs. It's actually, oh, it's swapped over. So 3 AKs, a Galil and a scout, but still a huge advantage for the CT still. This is the round now they need to win. They need to win it cleanly to have a chance of taking this to overtime. Still going to be a possibility here for sure, but still, in terms of percentage, NiP have a huge advantage going into this one. Round number 12, as we get to the exciting end of the second half.
Oh, Guardian just showing through.
Yeah, no.
I don't know if aim punch was the factor in that. The GoTV seemed to think that it was on, but the shot never came through all the way. I'll have to take a slower look perhaps, but that was extremely close, as all I could see was the big old mushroom cap on the CT side. It's going to be Forest waiting for anyone to cross over just with this M4 in hand. That point still for NiP, but down a man. Seized on 1, Guardian on 18. You could argue that the HP favors the Ninjas still, but again, with extra man, you've got the ability to set crossfires, get information, and execute, more importantly.
This is a fake towards A, probably 1 player dropping down towards spawn. You can see 3 terrorists ready to go, and GetRight's been pulled out of the site as well. That's a huge kill from Edward. GetRight, though, he can read the situation. He needs to get 1, maybe 2 kills to stay alive. He just has no information as to where they're coming from.
He's given up the site entirely. They're in the flash. It's going to line them up. He goes for the high HP player. He doesn't identify the fact that there is Guardian, or rather, excuse me, there is Seized in that position. He's able to pick up 1, gets traded back.
What a shot.
But that Seized 1 HP. It was a headshot regardless from Freiburg, but 1 HP. It was a shadow of a bullet that would have taken him down. A butterfly's breath, but now it's going to be Michael Lilly walking back up. Shot through the door, can't find it, can't land it. And they've got the bomb planted, NaVi. There's kits on both NiP players, but they want to take the fight, they want to push through. 1 for 1, and Michael Lilly, he's gone to the Deagle once more. He's got the game, and NiP, they'll be the ones to steal a victory away from NaVi, the first to do so all season, which is very, very crucial, because now that's essentially a loss that all their competition got.
Yeah, absolutely. What a way to finish it as well. It seems NaVi wanted to go aggressive right towards the end. Now they can hear the Ninjas rotating in. No, they're pretty limited. Quite close towards the end of the stage of that round, but they come out together, and the Deagle of Michael once again delivers. One headshot, one body shot. I didn't think he had any grounds to win that situation, but somehow
and he got it
does
right in that order as well. One headshot, one body shot, because the headshot was against the high HP player,
that's
the 100
right.
HP, and the body shot was against the guy that had, what, like 18, I think, that he had left. I mean, that's pretty remarkable.
What a game
it was
that was.
Guardian that was low HP.
That delivered in so many levels. There's headshots
good.
all over the place. Deagle was prevalent throughout every single round. It felt like every eco was close, and that's one of the most exciting games we've casted in Pro League so far, I would say, just in terms of the action and the clutches that were coming in.
Well, maybe we can finally probe into the minds in the analyst desk, because they've got something to talk about. Right, guys?
Absolutely, we do. Thanks very much. That's Henry and Matt. So, God, I think we have to just quickly echo their thoughts, because that was a really fun game to watch.
Yeah.
Like, of course, we enjoy CS at all times. This, however, was one of those really kind of blockbusters. The deagles, the rounds, the way that the individuals are playing.
Crazy moments.
Everything. I mean, NiP, though, a bit of a magic Mike, I think, was definitely something to talk about there. Mr. Makalele delivering on all fronts. It's kind of crazy to see the stand-in doing so well. We encountered this issue at ESL 1 Cologne with Liquid and Simple, and now Makalele's doing the same thing here.
Yeah.
It was good to see his deagling on point. There was that one round in A side that was awesome. That was, I think, the turning point for me.
Yeah.
He also had a really good round at Car with the AWP, you know, getting picks at long and at short bridge when they're making their way into A. And you know, he was very pivotal in that CT half.
So influential, and the rounds, like you're saying, the rounds he was winning were the crucial ones, the 1v2s, the deagle eco.
It was very flashy. But for me, it was also unusual suspects, you know, for these two teams doing very well. You had Freiburg very much at the top with Makalele on NiP, and on the other side, Edward.
Yeah.
Obviously, you can see him doing well so often, but not to the top of the scoreboard. Normally, it's, you know, you're Simple, you're Guardian, then maybe Flame. You know, everyone else seems to get their turn first, but Edward, that first pistol round as well, just massive impact coming out from him. You know, it's so enjoyable to watch them play. So it's a really kind of unique aspect that you don't normally get to see in these sort of games, is different players having the big influence. Freiburg, to me, that ace he pulled off was one of those beautiful aces I've seen in a while, because normally aces happen when other teams make a mistake, not you having to force the team to make a mistake, right? Normally it's like, well, this guy just out of position, wasn't looking the right way, you know, just something went wrong for them and someone exploits it. Freiburg had to push them to make those mistakes, you know what I mean? Like, even, you know, when the players were coming up up the stairs, you know, he just got the ball, made a run for it, and you know, he still hits the shot. You know, that was just so gorgeous to watch, and it's such a rarity.
And over 100 ADR for Edward, the only person on the server, 111 ADR. That's a big Dust2 from Edward. And you're right, he does sometimes just fall into that kind of the support title, the, you know, he does his
insane.
job.
Like, it's Edward,
yes,
you know?
exactly.
Yeah, I
Big
think
Eddie.
in that team,
Big Eddie.
there was probably an overlap with Seized and Zeus. And now that we've got, you know, Mr. Simple, he's playing fantastically.
Yeah.
He had some awesome plays as well. I think it's their T side was really sloppy. You know, there was so many force buys back and forth, and it didn't go their way. And I thought that, you know, they didn't have a great first half, and then the way they started the second half was so rocky. They did recover a little bit, but NiP, it seemed like they had that the whole time to me.
Yeah, because I put it on Forrest to have a good game, to be fair, and he didn't have to. Everyone else stepped up, which was actually really nice to see, because normally it does come down to, like, your get right playing well, or Forrest have those, you know, game-changing plays. Now they got Michael as well, who can bring that firepower, but it was, you know, everyone was really providing here on all fronts, and as you said, it was a little bit sloppy to begin with for NaVi, so I was sitting there, you kind of think, this is going to be a bit of a blowout game, it's not looking too close, but then, you know, these crazy rounds, back and forth on the Deagles, changing so many instances, it just keeps things so exciting, because, you know, the economy never becomes robust, so both teams are kind of teetering on an edge, aren't they? So they could, like, fall off at any time. So, yeah, it turned out to be a really enjoyable game.
And I think you're right, Chad, right? It was just the little bit of the absence on Navi's T side where the gap was formed. The void was so hard to find for so long. It was just towards the end there where we were seeing like 14-10, timeout called, and we kind of thought it was going to be closing out towards that.
So the first half was 10-5 to NiP,
that's
I
right.
think. And this is what I was talking about the other day, where with Dust2, for example, is like an instinct-based map. It's using the spawns and stuff, and it's about making better decisions. So unless you've talked through every single possible thing in theory to do with, like Dust2, there's so many things to exploit, so many smokes to push, so many different ways that you, like timings and all that kind of stuff. It's hard to do theory for a map like that. It's the king of pug maps, right? So that's where the decision making of NiP, it's like it's not super structured. When somebody goes out and goes for a kill, you know, he's obviously communicating that, and his teammates have faith in him, but it's not an expected thing. And that's where the structure of NaVi obviously wasn't, you know, great.
But I mean, it's kind of very refreshing to see that retro Freiburg was back again. Like everyone was getting hyped after his performance over in Kiev not too long ago, and now he's doing it again.
All we need is Inferno back, and we get the real beast.
Oh man, yes,
king.
indeed. We'll be seeing more of NiP a little later on, but that is them done. And believe it or not, Dust2 was the map that they did pick it up 16-11.
Great work, Alex.
Thanks
Love
very
that.
much, guys. So with all of that done, NaVi do lose their first ever map of ESL Pro League. That puts them now 7-1 on the standings. That's going to be a kind of a very, I was going to say a bitter pill to swallow. Not really. 7-1.
They're all right.
I don't think they're going to be too complaining. The only team to actually have only got one loss, I believe, on the board. But
I'm going to touch on the meme, the 7-1 meme. Or...
I think we'll leave it.
All right.
Yeah, we're not too much of a dank meme. I think Matt's doing that enough for all of us.
He's really covering.
Okay.
Yeah, he's
trying
fulfilled
hard,
the
and
dank meme quota.
Yeah.
We have like a little slider in the production room. And it's like bursting on the edge every time he goes on screen. So we'll leave it for now. But just a quick before we do take a break, of course, the Score Esports application is something I do like to tell you about. I'm going to do it again right here, right now. If you do want to have a quick look at the stats that do dictate that there was a big game from Freiburg, Edward turning up simple at the top of the scoreboard, 24 from him. But you can check that out, news articles as well as some statistics. So you go grab the score, and when we do come back, we're going to be having a little look at Hellraiser's Astralis. Now that could bode to be quite interesting. So see you in a second with our second set of games.